hebben al veel gehoord over die gepolariseerde verkiezingen in Amerika, gepolariseerde meningen en een breuk in die samenleving. En ik denk eerlijk gezegd dat we daar nu een staaltje van gaan te zien krijgen, want we hebben hier twee Amerikanen bij ons. En you live in Belgium, right? Ja. En nog even zeggen dat de Engelse interviews, dat u daar vertaling kan vinden op teletext pagina 888. Dus Nancy Caruso en Chuck Ungermann, welcome. Nancy, I start with you. Did you vote? Did you already vote?
Of course I voted. Of course I voted, yeah.
And you vote for?
Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, why Hillary Clinton?
Because she stands for some of the values that I think are really important. Because
like?
Women's rights, the right for a woman to choose, good medical care, good education, a fair immigration policy, just things that are really democratic principles.
Yeah, but she has a doubtful reputation with the scandals, emails and so on, Benghazi.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not without encouragement. The choice is a really tough one. I mean, somebody who stands for principles and somebody who you have no idea what their principles are all about.
Is it important for you as a woman that Hillary Clinton is a woman?
It's not so much the person Hillary Clinton, but it's important for me for a woman to be a president. Yes.
Yeah.
To show examples to daughters and wives and grandchildren. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Chuck, welcome. Did you vote?
No, I did not vote, and I'm ashamed to say it's purely because I didn't get registered in time. But had I got registered, I would certainly vote for Donald Trump.
For Donald Trump, why?
Well, because as a Republican, I believe that Donald Trump represents a lot of the things that I believe in, a lot of the philosophies of the Republican Party. It would be foolish not to admit that Donald Trump has said some stupid things, but and that's very unfortunate, and he has made some apologies for those. And
he insulted some minorities. Can he become president if you do that?
Certainly he can. It's easy to insult minorities. It's easy to insult everybody. When you don't agree with people's policies, it's easy to get insulted, and that's what one of the things Republicans have been fighting for years: the bias in the press, the bias in the news, the bias on television, the bias you see here tonight. You see it show all these skits about Donald Trump, and everybody laughs, but I don't see any skits about Hillary. You know, Europe is very Clintonized and very Democratic.
We will discuss the scandals of Hillary Clinton tonight, but many Europeans consider Donald Trump as a fool, crazy man. What do you think about that?
Well, I don't agree with that at all. I agree that Donald Trump has said some very weird and very strange and unpleasant things, okay? But Donald Trump represents, and it's a discussion I have many times, why are people voting for Donald Trump? And it's that Donald Trump is really speaking to the heart and minds of many American people that have been disenfranchised for many years by the political system, be it the Republican system or the Democratic system. And it's incredibly refreshing to me. I've said many years, America doesn't need a politician to run it. America needs a businessman.
Yeah.
And now they've got a businessman. And Donald Trump may be this and may be that, but he's a fine businessman. And he represents just a lot of the basic fundamental views of the Republican Party.
Are you a real Republican?
I'm a real Republican.
Yeah?
I'm a conservative, Christian, evangelical Republican from my head to my toe.
Okay, so you're one of those typical white Americans who are voting for the Republicans.
That's correct.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Nancy, what do you think of Chuck's feelings?
I have to respect his feelings. He has a right to opinion, but I couldn't disagree more. I mean that's really all I can say about it.
Yeah. But American society is so polarized at the moment. That's a problem?
Indeed, that's a gigantic problem, because once this election is over, the country has to go on as a whole. They have to work with Congress. They have to try to pass laws. So how do you amend those things and patch it up to actually rule?
This polarization is it a result of the voting system with two parties?
Well, the polarization, as Nancy said, is a big problem. But it's been created by the current administration. And these are some of the issues that are not being talked about. The group of people that wanted a black president for years and years and years. Okay, they have a black president, but why is there more racial tension in America now than there ever was under the Republican presidents? Nobody's talking about that. You know, there are other issues that nobody's talking about that the present administration has done. They're going to be carried into the new administration. Hillary is just Barack Obama III. No, really, the things that he has started, she's determined to continue, and it's unfortunate.
Nancy, you're laughing.
Well, we don't have a fact checker. Because speaking just about racial tensions and the height of racial tensions, that's in the past. We may have situations where there's violence against black people, but if we look at the history of civil rights and riots in Newark in '68 and those kinds of things, it's really not a tense period.
Okay, Chuck, you as a Trump fan, do you consider these elections as fascinating elections or disgusting elections?
It's a combination of both. It's really a combination.
And is it a fault of Donald Trump?
It's yes, absolutely, and it's something that unfortunately it's been promulgated by the press. Okay.
It's always the fault of the press.
Well, yes and no.
That's what Trump is saying.
It's easy to blame the press, but the bias from the press in America for the Democratic Party has been noted for years. It's no new surprise.
Yeah.
Okay? Donald Trump, he knew how to take advantage of the press. The other Republican candidates in the National Convention, they had to pay to get airtime. Donald Trump got free airtime because the press went to see him to see what stupid thing he might say, or you know, he's a little bit of a philosophy that there's no such thing as bad advertising. Yeah. All advertising is good advertising. Okay? Yeah. And, excuse me.
Yeah. Last week there was a poll of the Washington Post, and the result was that 60% of the Americans are sick and tired of these elections. Do you agree?
I wouldn't be surprised about that. It lasts so long, the whole procedure of choosing the candidates for the particular parties, and all the advertising and money that gets spent and wasted in my mind. It's enormous sums of money that can be spent much better to inform people. Also, you can do it with a much smaller budget.
Okay.
Yeah, it's way too long.
Okay. Nancy en Chuck, thank you very much. Ja, je ziet aan die gepolariseerde verkiezingen, gepolariseerde kandidaten, toch ook wel een beetje gepolariseerde kiezers. Weer naar jou.
Thank you.